Hey, I'm Jorrit Schulte for AE Tots Plus, and in this tutorial we are going to create stereo 3D footage from normal 2D footage. And we're going to do that with Mocha from Imagineer Systems, and creating the same effect as the tutorial you can find on the Imagineer Systems website on creating 3D, stereo 3D footage inside of Nuke. We can create that in After Effects, obviously. So let's just start by going into Mocha and just tracking this duck. I'm just going to create a simple mask around this duck. Simple, a simple spline is in this program. It's called. So we're just gonna roughly go just around the duck, and there we go, just like this. So, and right click. There we go. So we got a rough mask around the, a rough spline around the duck there. By the way, the Imagineer system were kind enough to share this footage with me and with you guys, so you can follow along, and that's great. So let's just go ahead and set the pixel use to 50%, and let's just track forwards. Let's track forwards, and just let it track the shot, so we get a nice track of the duck. So then, after this is done, instead of masking everything out in Mocha, we're gonna export this into After Effects. We're gonna import it into After Effects so we can create the mask there, which is a little bit easier for me. You might want to do it in Mocha if you like, but I like the rotoscoping tools in After Effects just a little bit more, so I'm just gonna do it there. So the track is done, and it seems to have done a pretty good job. It seems like it's following the duck pretty good. So we're gonna export the tracking data, and we're just gonna go ahead and select After Effects transform data. We're gonna copy to clipboard, and then we go inside of After Effects. Ooh, there we go. So we're gonna create a layer, new, null object. Oops, layer new, null, and this is gonna be the tracker data. I'm just gonna hit Control V, and it will paste everything on there, all the keyframe data. So we're gonna hit UU with the layer selected, and all the keyframes come up, and go to the first frame of the composition, and just hit delete all the keyframes for the anchor point, and just set that to 0 and 0. So now that seems to be pretty good. Actually, we can set the scale up as well. So now the null seems to be stuck to the duck. Alright. So now let's create a mask around this duck. Let's first do the whole body. Just set layer new solid solid and call this body, and let's make it white. Hit OK. And I'm just gonna put the opacity down, and with the layer selected we are gonna create the mask around the duck. So let's go to a frame where you can see this whole wing here, and we're just gonna create a mask around the duck fairly quickly. So now we got a mask. We're going to turn the opacity up again, and we want to feather it some, because this is going to be a depth mat. I should explain that. This is going to be a depth mat, so we can make a kind of a 3D model from this scene. And because this isn't just a a bump, it actually smooths it because it's a round surface. Actually, want to feather this a bit. But when we feather the mask, this is what happens. Just hit F. When we feather the mask, the feather goes outside of the mask itself. What we could do is hit MM and just lower the mask expansion a bit. But there's a better way of doing that. I'm gonna show you that right now to get some nicer results. What you want to do is um, hit Control Shift C to pre-compose this, and we call this body. Move all attributes and hit OK. Then parent it to the null. Parent the pre-comp to the null, so it moves with the camera, with the motion of the scene, I should say. And you see, this isn't the best track. You can see it right there. It's got not the best track, but we're gonna work with this because it is the tutorial. Actually, it seems like when I just repasted the scale, it seems like that works better. I should have just let that there. So now that's pretty good. So, where are we? Oh yeah, yes, the feather. So what we're gonna do is add a blur now, a fast blur. There we go, fast blur. And let's do repeat edge pixels. And just like that. And because of because this is a mask, and it might just cut off the bottom at some point. It doesn't in this case, but it's good. I just wanna put this little light bulb for vector layers, I think. So just the mask stays intact. So it treats a layer as if it has a mask, kind of. So it basically goes past the bounds of the frame. May it call for that. So if you see the feather still goes outside of the duck. So what we want to do is add CC composite, apply that to the footage, and set the composite original to stencil alpha. So this way, as you can see, when we set the fast blur up, it feathers to the inside, and we might just want to feather this from the outside just a little bit. So we're just gonna duplicate the fast blur and just move it beneath the CC composite, and just maybe 2 pixels, maybe 5 or something like that, just so we get a little bit smoother of a mask, as you can see. So we can see what's going to happen when we set the background on. The background like this. So this is gonna be the math as of right now. Alright, that looks pretty good. Maybe feather it a little bit more. Like so, that looks sweet for now. Oh, let's do the beak now. Let's turn the body off and create a new layer, make it white again. New solid, I should say, and call this beak. Turn the opacity down and create a quick mask around the beak. Like so. It's pretty good. Probably want some smoothness, but with this edge there, just gonna transform that and just fix those. That looks great. Hit T for the opacity again, and just back to 100%. And then we wanna copy. Actually, we're gonna pre-compose this first. To Beak, move our attributes and hit OK. And then copy all the effects from the body and paste it on the beak. Let's do it one more time. Like that. And want to feather this less, way less, because the beak is a little bit smaller. Maybe something like that. And let's see, we're gonna parent this. Yes. Oops. We're gonna parent this to the null, or to the body. Doesn't really matter now. Now the big two moves in concert with the footage. So I wanna repeat edge pixels on the second blur too. I'm gonna fill the body with a little bit of a darker color, since it isn't totally on the front. Let's turn the background on, because it isn't totally on at the front of the composition. Because everything what is lighter is going to be closer to the camera, because this is a depth math. Something like this looks pretty good. Probably wanna throw the beak a little bit more. Maybe like that. Okay. So let's add another detail. I think this belly is a little bit more close. Oops. Belly. There. Opacity down again. And with the layer selected, create a mask around the belly. Something like that. And pre-compose. So, want to feather this a little bit more than the rest, because this is quite a big surface. Maybe fill it with a little bit darker than white. Just a tiny little bit. Because the beak is, I think, a bit more in front. So maybe something like this. Maybe. That looks pretty good. Yes. So we can do the glasses, but for the sake of this tutorial I won't. It will get a little bit repetitive if we do. So let's now do this, or maybe this thing. Oh, I want to say this. We're gonna do this shape right here too. So let's delete the first layer. Oop, there. Let's see, remove it. Delete. Select it and hit delete. Delete. Right click and delete. There we go. And just let's drag this thingy right there. And then I'm gonna show you. Let's make it a little bit more in detail. See how we can zoom. Oops. It's Z and drag that's zooming right there. Alright. So it's gonna create a mask around this. Come on. There we go. And track. Good. Let's track forward, and it starts right there, so we want to track backwards as well. And then I'm gonna show you how to export the shapes instead of the tracking data. So let's export the shape data, Mocha Shape data for After Effects. Copy to clipboard, and let's go ahead and hit Mocha Shape. Hit Control Y to make a new layer. This is gonna be the shape, and just apply the Mocha Shape and hit Control V. Yeah, so now we got a shape right there which moves with the camera automatically. To compose it and call this background element or something like that. And then apply all the effects from the belly. Let's copy that one more time and paste it for the background element. There we go. That's good. Let's not blur that much. So let's actually just turn this on so we can see, and let's turn the opacity down just a little bit so we can see the blurriness of that pole in the footage. And let's blur about the same amount with the second blur, something like that, and then blur this. And because it's pretty far in the distance, I want to make this a little bit darker, pretty dark, something like that maybe. So now we got that, and everything moves with the camera pretty well, except for the belly. We didn't. The belly, I'm just gonna link that the to the null as well. And the background element we don't have to because it is a Mocha shape and it will move automatically with the camera. So that looks pretty good. Now let's call this comp depth mat, and let's create a new folder, mat elements, and just put all the elements in there. So it's just a little bit more organized. So now we are going to create a new composition with the same footage, and we're going to create a 3D scene from this 2D scene in After Effects. So we're gonna we're gonna apply a freeform to this footage, and we don't need the grid and controls. We don't need them, so we can just turn them off. And we're gonna import the mat in this composition. Let's turn it off. We don't need to see it. Let's create a new camera layer, new camera, so we can see what's going on. 50mm, and hit OK. And just move it to the side, so we can see what's going on in a minute. Good. So now we're gonna go into the footage, go to the displacement controls, and set the displace layer to the depth mat. So that will displace it in 3D space. When we set this a little bit more to 100, we can actually see the duck is displaced in 3D space. The better quality isn't that good. So what we can do is just keep it this way until we have to render, so we can just see what's going on in real time. But if we are going to render this, we want to set the mesh subdivisions to something like 500, and we set the anti-aliasing to maybe medium, and let it render, and you get a pretty good image out of that. As you can see, I think we want to make the beak a little bit lighter, so we just go to the depth mat and select the beak and set the blur a little bit down, so we get an overall sharper shape and also a little bit lighter in the center. So let's see how that works out. Oops. Rotate the camera. Set this maybe to 50 so we can just see what's going on. Set the anti-aliasing to none for now. So we can see the duck is displaced in 3D space pretty well. Still not really happy with the beak, so we can put just the body maybe a little bit darker, and also the background element, even though it's pretty dark already. So maybe like this. They may want to set this to maybe 120. Yeah, that's better. That's pretty good. So now we got a 3D scene of the duck. And now we have to create our cameras. So let's reset this camera. So we have the left view right here. So now we need to make a right camera. And there's a great script that does it automatically for us, which is from Christoph Keller from his visual effects studio he works at, I think. Pinakau, maybe? I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Probably not. You can download that and just install it inside of After Effects, and you have a very nice set of scripts. You can follow his tutorials. I will set a link on the screen right now, or maybe in the description of this tutorial. Yes. So once we have that installed, we're gonna do Window, and right here it's outside of the frame, but it will be there. It's the stereo converter. Yeah, so we select this composition, and automatic naming this right, we should just call this right view, and hit generate right comp. Yes, so let's create uh, a new composition, which is a right view, and this will be the left view. So call the other one left view, and we go into the left view. For right now, they're the same. But when we go into stereo controls and set the camera separation to about 10, we can see a change in cameras. As you can see now, we have the two cameras. That's pretty easy, pretty neat. It does all the work for us. And all we have to do is set those two images together. So we can put them both in the new composition, single composition, and that's alright. So now we've got one composition with both layers. We have to turn them off both. Let's just create a new layer. Call this glasses. And we're gonna apply the 3D glasses 3D glasses effect to the composition, and just hit the left view is going to be left view, and the right view is going to be right view. And we can set the stereo pair, the 3D view to balance color red, blue. And when you got your glasses, just put them on, and there you go. You got some 3D footage. Now, if you want to render this, you have to set on both layers, on left and right, set the mesh quality, the subdivision to 500, and the anti-aliasing to medium for this shot. And your shot, it may vary depending how much quality is there, and just go and play with it until it looks good. I found for this scene 500 looks good when medium anti-aliasing is fine. But you may want to render this in advanced. Do it for the other comp too. And you may want to render these two views out in advance so you can work a little bit faster. And then you got your 3D footage. I'm gonna go ahead and render that for you and show you what we get. So grab your 3D glasses and let's see how it looks. So this is what we have. I hope you liked it. My name is Joris Schulte for AE Tats Plus, and I hope you have fun with this. Goodbye.